Good evening and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We are so honored to have you all here with us to share this special night, and we'll have a few other things to say as we go on, but once again, welcome.
You know, Corey, a lot of people think that Jim Crow laws and segregation were only about the Deep South. But I grew up in Ohio, and I got bused to kindergarten because they wanted my elementary school to be only 20% white. And a whole lot of the restaurants had big signs that said, whites only. Then along came the 60s and the civil rights movement, and I got to participate in marches and demonstrations and sit-ins, and we really made a stride for Black rights.
But Mom, this isn't just about racial equality. What about gender equality?
What about gender equality?
Well, do you remember when I wanted to play football?
Yeah.
Right. So you told me I couldn't play football because I was a girl. I then didn't listen to you. I went to the meeting, and I was told I couldn't play football because I was a girl.
That happened.
And then I went home to Mommy, and I had a conversation with you because I didn't feel like that was legal. And you told me it's not. And you went to school, and somehow I ended up playing football.
So it's not just about race, it's also about gender equality. Gender equality is important.
Also, what about the time I was in church and I was told for the first time by someone that I highly, highly respected that homosexuals are going to...
What happened with that?
Well, that person had to call their boss and was told that they're highly, highly incorrect and that they don't get to choose.
Yeah, that's kind of not their decision who goes where. So, how to include gay rights when I'm thinking about freedoms? Gender expression, gender identity. And we can't forget immigration rights with everything that's going on right now. And what about services for the poor, or people who have mental health issues or physical disabilities? I mean, there's so many places that people need help right now. And what we really have to think about is all those boxes that we don't fit in. Human beings just don't fit in little bitty boxes. And now that I'm getting older, I have to think about senior rights. What we really need is a champion who understands the nature of intersectionality and the importance of human rights.
You need someone like Pauli Murray?
I think that's exactly who we're talking about.
West Coast Singers
Is very proud and happy to present to you Rebel with a Cause. Sincerely yours,
Pauli Murray.
Thank you, Sherry and Corey. Before we start actually singing the cantata, we're going to sing one piece before that to get us warmed up. Some of you might know the song, you might have heard it before. And also, I do want to acknowledge before we start, I believe the composer, Steve Malloy, is in the audience somewhere. He did not compose A Million Dreams, but he composed all the music for Pauli Murray. So we're going to sing A Million Dreams for us to get kind of all together, and then we'll do our best job to give you the story of Pauli Murray.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say
Sincerely yours, Pauli Murray.
The suffragette movement was in full force. 10,000 New Yorkers gathered in Union Square demanding that women be given the right to vote.
The Urban League was founded to help the lives of Black people.
James Shepherd started the first college for Black students in the state of North Carolina on the tails of the founding of the NAACP.
And in 1910, Pauli Murray,
whose birth name was Anna Pauli,
was born in Baltimore, Maryland. Pauli's mother died 4 years later, not long after giving birth to her sixth child.
Her father, having a full mental breakdown, was institutionalized.
So, Pauli was adopted by her Aunt Pauline,
whom she was named for.
Aunt Pauline took her back to Durham, North Carolina to live. All throughout her life, Pauli never felt terribly feminine. She felt that she had been born into the wrong body, wrong gender.
And most times, secretly, I agreed with her. I used to watch my little niece ripping and running throughout the neighborhood, holding her own with all the little boys, attacking every situation with strength, confidence, and words. She could clearly articulate her stance, verbally or putting pen to paper. Pauli knew exactly what to say.
But the one thing that took all of Aunt Pauline's strength and confidence was to get Pauli to wear a dress. After all, it was 1918.
Finally, we struck an agreement. I would allow Pauli to wear boys' clothes all throughout the week. She could even wear them to school. But on Sundays, when she went to church in front of God and everyone, Pauli had to wear a dress. I never thought that it would happen for me, a child of my own. I always thought I'd live my life childless and alone. Then Pauli came into my life, a joy from the start, vexing at times and really stubborn to boot. That's what stole my heart. This girl, this boy has entered my life, my boy girl, this child of mine. Will you grow to be who you're destined to be? Will they let you shine? So far as a ray and always a ray, such a joy to see. So witty and thoughtful and curious too. Funny, they named her for me. Just like a top that never stops, she will not be confined. Running and jumping and flying about, she can never be defined. This girl, this boy has entered my life. This boy girl, my child divine. Will you grow to be who you're destined to be? Will they let you shine? But this world won't see the intelligent, headstrong person I see. They'll see Pauli in their own narrow view, calling Pauli a mannish, uppity cub again. I fear they'll contain her, restrain her. They'll try to control her. Stop her, hold her. Don't hold her back. Let her live, let her go. Let her live free. Who she'll be? This girl, this boy, this precious child, this boy, my boy, girl, Charlie. Will you grow to be who you're destined to be? Will they let you shine? Pauli, boy, girl, mine. Pauli breaks free from the Carolinas and makes her way to Hunter College in New York City.
I'm still a black woman living in a Jim Crow society, but in New York, I can at least take a breath.
1933. Eleanor Roosevelt starts Camp Terra for unemployed women in the Depression era. Pauli is 23 years old, unemployed, and in love with a white woman named Peg Holmes.
Peg was a counselor, and after I left the camp, Peg followed me all the way back to New York. We dreamed of a life together, starting with a road trip, hopping trains.
Colorado?
California. Nebraska? Why not?
There, gotta get 'em 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 there. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
If we go from here to there, then we've got no money for the train fare. And to us at the end of the day, 'cause Jim Crow always gets in the way. We'll dress in a manner that we enjoy. Hair, shirt, hat, just like the wine. Don't have my hair short, you're used to the side. When you see us girls like that, we'll just hide. We're taking a train, but we're riding the rails. Taking a trip, but we're making a trail. To finding you and finding me. And that makes us just let us be. We'll have free train, I'll show you how. Grab my hand first, one, jump on down, yeah, settle in, and feel the train say, then shout hooray, 'cause we're on our way. We're taking a train, but we're riding the rails. Taking a trip, but we're making a trail. To finding you and finding me. And that makes us just let us be. What's in Nebraska? What's there that's not here? Farms and cornfields and trees, little space. We could be by ourselves and do what we like. I wouldn't mind that.
Could we make a life for ourselves out in Nebraska? I'm afraid to imagine it could happen.
From New York to Pittsburgh and on to Cincinnati. Make the love of my life, and I want her to know my love, my dreams. How much can I show? Take the route to Denver, Omaha, Nebraska.
She'll have to admit, so many things in common, we're a perfect fit. Everything is happening so fast. We have a chance to be free.
Chance to be free. Chance to be free. Chance to be free. We're taking a train, but we're riding the rails. Taking a trip, but we're making a trail. To finding you and finding me. We'll ride until we're free to be. We're taking a train, but we're riding the rails. Taking a trip, but we're making a trail. To finding you and finding me. We'll ride until we're free to be. Together. Ride the rails. Ride the rails.
One moment I'm riding the rails across America with the love of my life.
And the next, you're hugging the rails of a bed at Bellevue Mental Hospital, trying to create some semblance of sanity because Peg, she couldn't tell you she was going to marry a man?
I read it in the New York Times, the society section.
It runs in the family, you know. Your dad had it. physical aggression.
I loved her so much. Oh my gosh. What's going on inside me? Why can't I?
Your visits to doctors, asking for male hormone therapy, asking the doctors to check for hidden male organs during an appendectomy.
I told the doctor, please, make it make sense. I'm teetering on the edge, off the rails. You and I, a perfect pair. I fell for you along the way. I long to hear you love me back. I wait for that day. So darling, stay right here. I awaited your return. I barely breathe, I didn't dare. Oh, how much I yearned. My heart was full of love, and words and words and words and words. And now I have no words. I have no words. We had a taste, we could have been free. If I were a man, she'd have married me.
Look out, what do you see? Bring it out. Can you find, can you set me free?
I wanted more, I wanted promise, there would be so much more. I wanted so much, you promised there would be more.
Father, oh Father, our Father,
Who art in heaven, why have you forsaken me? One of nature's experiments. What have you done to me? Why do I fall for the female sex?
the pictures,
This girl who would have been a boy was fused with parts of me.
tell and they'll bring the hellish body, unbearable pain.
She lied. I had such dreams, we had such dreams, we had such dreams.
Let me be the man that I should be. If I were a man, she'd have married me.
But she lied, she lied, she lied, and then she left me. My heart is broken into pieces. I can't make up the
I cannot find the
were arrested and jailed for refusing to move to the back of the bus on their way home for Easter vacation.
The seat in the back was broken. Besides, I will always take the opportunity to protest in the name of justice when events call me to do so.
I received an arrest telegram sent collect to a Mrs. Pauli Dane.
Easter greetings. Stop. Arrested. Stop. Petersburg Warrant, Greyhound bus. Stop. Don't worry. Stop.
Polly.
Polly was arrested 15 years before Rosa Parks sat in front of a bus and sparked the Montgomery bus boycott.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Paul and Silas bound in jail. Had no money for to go there. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Paul and Silas began to shout. The jail doors opened and they walked out. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Though the first man's in life was the devil's hell. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. The only thing that's in wrong is saying the just of the law. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on.
Ain't but one chain that we can stand. That's the chain of a hand in hand. Ain't but one chain that we can stand. That's the chain of a hand in hand. Ain't but one chain that we can stand. That's the chain of a hand in hand. Ain't but one chain that we can stand. That's the chain of a hand in hand.
Eyes keeping on the prize. Eyes on the prize. Eyes keeping
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sonny Andrus, and I'm the current chorus president of West Coast Singers LGBTQ plus. Thank you all. And on behalf of the board of directors, we are so grateful to have all of you here, joining us on this journey that we've taken on for the last few months, learning about Pauli Murray and about their life and their contributions to us today. And I've invited Lucas King, who is our tenor section leader, to share a little bit about his journey over the last few months.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. What a way to kick off Pride Month. I know it doesn't start till tomorrow, but this is the first day of Pride for us. Of course, now I'm supposed to speak and everything just like left my head.
Lucas was the soloist right at the beginning in Million Dreams. Amazing.
Oh, that? Yeah, I forgot about that. When, a couple weeks ago when Brett had said that we were going to sing A Million Dreams at the beginning of this, two things happened. I was like, oh yeah, I get to do my solo again. And then the second thing was, why are we doing that song? It just sort of felt kind of random to me. I didn't understand. I mean, we had just sung it at a cabaret, and we know it, and so I thought, okay, that's a piece that's in our repertoire. But I was like, why would we do that song before? Why wouldn't we just do a cantata? And then last night, I watched the My Name is Pauli Murray documentary on Amazon Prime. If you have not seen it, please do yourself a favor and watch it. It's excellent, and we've been singing this music, this cantata, for the last couple of months, and it really sort of made me see things in a new light, watching her life story kind of unfold like that, and learning it over the last couple of months. And I thought, a million dreams for the world that she was wanting to make. And I just thought how powerful of a message that is. And if you watch the documentary, you'll see this, but she sort of lived her life in a way that almost she knew she was going to be a significant historical figure. She wrote everything down, and she just was so ahead of her time in that she knew that the way that she was being treated and the way that other people who were different were being treated was not right, and it wasn't in her to not do anything about it. And so I thought about that, and I want all of you and all of us here today to think about, what are we doing right now to make the kind of world that we want? Because there are people now who have become very brave and bold recently who are trying to actively take lots of our rights away. And so what we do at this particular moment in time, the way we live our lives, really matters. And what kind of messages do we want to send to the world? And so, thank you. And so that's what today is really about. It's about us coming together and being a family and being a community. And this is what community is in action. And this message, this story is so important for us to preserve this kind of legacy and to keep that story being told. That's what we need to do. We are the storytellers, and we have a mission, and this is our mission. And that mission we would not be able to accomplish that without you being here to listen. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lucas, for that. So meaningful. Because we're not leaving a formal intermission, there's a couple quick things I want to do. First of all, I really want to thank the GALA Choruses organization and the commission, the consortium commission, the choirs that all kind of got together to help create this piece. There are other groups. This is the West Coast premiere. There will be, if you read it down, if you enjoy it, there will be a few more in California in the fall. So you can look for those. And I want to just thank specifically Steve, who's out in the audience. We so enjoyed this music. It's been a lot of fun. I want to thank the church who has been so gracious to us. And, you know, we were so, yes. We sang here in the winter, and they have a events coordinator, as facilities will. And there was a lovely person named Trudy. And Trudy was our contact, our liaison when we came. and her husband is the sound engineer, Greg, up there. And Trudy was like, I'm a singer. When do you have auditions? And I said, well, I mean, it's an audition. She auditioned, so today Trudy is up here singing with us. So that's a lot of fun. And Greg is doing an amazing job with the sound. Thank you, Greg. We have just an amazing group of instrumentalists down here playing for us, and I want to recognize them and how great they sound today. Thank you so much for playing for us. And my cohort in crime up here at the piano, Derek, is, he's not just an accompanist, he's everything. He's the heart of the chorus, really. So, Derek, listen, I have big dreams for the future, and I hope that what you're hearing today and seeing today, in terms of this commission work, inspires you to support things like this. Because my vision is that, this was a lot of choirs that got together to commission this piece, and we have done commission works in the past. But my dream for the future, when we go to the next GALA Choruses International Convention, is that we would do an entire work like this. Some of the top choruses do commission works, and the only way that we can do that is through your help. If you want to get messages like Pauli Murray out there, I would like to see us be able to commission a complete work to take to the next GALA. And so we're going to talk about how you can, I will tell you this, when we got involved in doing this, we didn't kind of realize that it was going to cost a little bit of money to kind of make it happen the way it did. So we are really relying on your help tonight to make us not go in the red from this. So Sonny's going to talk about it a little bit. Now, one of the things I want to say, we are so fortunate to have Jamonte and Monica singing from, they're fluent from Omaha, to sing this piece. They are so amazing. They've been so wonderful with us. I want you to know that this piece, the first time that this entire work was put together, played together, sung together here with these people, the band, all the choir parts, the narration, the solos, was last night. But flying in fantastic soloists and hiring beautiful players to play for us and being in a place like this does take a commitment from our audiences as well. So Sonny's going to talk to you a little bit about that.
So there's several opportunities for you to support the chorus tonight. We have artists who were invited to donate works of art, and they're on display in the lobby, and they're up for sale in our silent auction. All of them are original pieces. They were inspired not only by Pride Month, but also by Pauli's life. So please take a look. The auction will be going up until 15 minutes after the end of the concert. Inside your brochure, there is a QR code to be able to follow us on social media, to link to our Venmo, and then there's also a donation envelope for those of you who still like to do a little paper and pen way. We will happily take your checks as well. So we are so very grateful to perform for you tonight and to be able to celebrate Pauli's life and to share this work that Steve has written for us. So thank you all.
Thank you, Sonny. Sonny has been our chorus president and has done an amazing job for quite some time. And he's moving into the president's position of the board. And Jane, coming up behind him, is leading that position. And her wife is very excited back there. Okay. Hi, Jane.
She's much happier than I am.
Okay. Jane's going to speak to you while the chorus is coming back on. Just ignore the chorus. But hello, Jane. How are you?
Amazing.
Awesome.
As he said, I'm Jane Gillum. As the letter in the program says, I've been in the chorus 20 years now. I know how Sonny felt. For 7 years, I was the chorus president. Then I joined the board, and I've been the board president for the past 7 years. And it's been a long time. Brett said I should talk about what it means to me, but I think they're all out there, so I don't need to talk long. So I think all I'll say is I love this group. I love all of you. And I hope you love this show.
(1944). Our Howard Law School class was debating Plessy versus Ferguson. It was a case that argued whether it was constitutional to enforce separate but equal code words for the separation of white folks from black folks.
The Declaration of Independence promised all Americans individual liberty, equality, and the pursuit of happiness.
Except for black people. We were given substandard housing, schools, and healthcare. We sat in designated seats on trains and buses. We could not enjoy pools or parks and could only use toilets and drinking fountains marked colored only.
That's what is known as Jim Crow, the pursuit of happiness, eh? Now, Pauli is the only woman in her law school class, and she speaks up during the discussion about fighting Jim Crow.
I question whether race should have been the main argument, since separate but equal is never equal. And members in the class, including Thurgood Marshall, led the class in raucous laughter.
But something in Pauli's gut told told her that she was right.
Polly had a thought, not a little bitty thought, but a thought so grand.
Ain't never thought.
Separate has never been laws that are equal. Segregation meant to degrade black people. But the 14th Amendment says equal rights for all. That's all, everybody. Jim Crow's gonna fall. So Polly let it sue.
For a month or maybe two.
And she took those fiery clothes that were pointed out to prove. Kept the weapon in her hand, whiskey in the road and let the word spew for peace. Let the word spew, tell the what they need to know. Let the word spew, let your genius mind flow. Let the word spew, it will find go. Go on, Polly had enough of Jim Crow.
Separate but equal, the approach is all wrong. We can't advance our rights with the same old song. We need a legal lexicon that's bold and brave. Equality for all, that includes former slaves. In the 14th, I can make a plausible case that the language is across the board, not just about race. No person may be set aside or marked inferior.
But this legislation's hit the skills to keep white superior. Classy and Jim Crow is worth the laws of this land. And wholeheartedly productive, making racist demands.
Kept from housing.
Solid education,
And down.
low wage jobs,
In the low.
unable to build wealth.
Impossible to dredge our way out of the system.
Keeps most blacks circling as perpetual victims.
When Negroes live each day within these real molestations, trauma is imbued from generation to generation.
Generation, generation, generation. Separate has never been laws that are equal. Segregation meant to degrade black people. But the 14th Amendment says equal rights for all. That's all, everybody. Jim Crow's gonna fall. Let the word spew, tell the what they need to know. Let the word spew, let your genius mind flow. Let the word spew, it will all find go. Go on, Polly had enough of Jim Crow. Polly's happy fingers soon devised a different song about Leslie versus Ferguson and what went wrong.
This case must be overturned, erase, make complete.
That's the only way we'll give the boot to Jim Crow's foot.
Professor Robinson, I'll bet you $10 that Plessy versus Ferguson will be overturned as unconstitutional within 25 years.
Polly, you've got yourself a bet.
Opposition to an idea I care deeply about always around my latent mule-headedness, and I chose for my seminar paper the ambitious topic, should Plessy versus Ferguson be overruled? I typed it up without making a carbon copy and gave it to Professor Robinson.
Let the words spew, tell the what they need to know. Let the words spew, let your genius mind flow. Let the words spew, it will all find go. Go on, Polly had enough of Jim Crow.
10 years later,
1954,
a landmark case.
Brown versus the Board of Education is won in the U.S. Supreme Court.
Professor Robinson,
Pauli Murray! Oh, remember that paper you wrote 10 years ago? Well, myself and Thurgood Marshall, we used your paper as the basis of our argument in winning Brown versus the Board of Education at the Supreme Court.
you used my paper as the basis of... in front of the Supreme Court? I believe you owe me $10, sir. Friendships don't always start off in a positive light. Take my friendship with Eleanor Roosevelt.
You called her Eleanor?
It didn't start that way. 1938. I wrote a terse letter to President Roosevelt and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, chastising them for their lack of support in protesting racial segregation in the South.
I'm sure that went over well.
I called it confrontation by typewriter. But Eleanor responded, and I realized I had a direct line to the president's ears on issues pertaining to Black people. I had no idea we would become good friends.
Nearly 30 years.
I would visit Eleanor at her New York City apartment and spend weekends at her cottage in Hyde Park.
Pittsburgh's finest Black newspaper, the Pittsburgh Carrier. Dateline, June 2nd, 1944. Flowers, a huge bouquet of them. They were sent from Mrs. Eleanor Roosevelt and delivered to the brilliant and strong-willed Pauli Murray, graduate cum laude.
But the high point of graduation weekend was tea shared at the White House with Aunt Pauline and Mrs. Roosevelt.
The usual reward for a top Howard student was a prestigious fellowship at Harvard University.
So I applied for admission to Harvard Law School, but was rejected. They wrote, "You are not of the sex entitled to be admitted to Harvard Law School."
This response, even though President Roosevelt, an alumnus, wrote a letter to Harvard on Pauli's behalf.
And I wrote that my white great-grandfather was a Harvard graduate, thus establishing me as a legacy student.
Harvard held fast on the principle that Pauli was of the wrong sex.
Gentlemen, I would gladly change my sex, but since the way has not been revealed, I have no recourse but to appeal to you to rather change your minds. Are you to tell me that one is as difficult as the other? Sincerely yours, Pauli Murray. Harvard may have rejected me, but Berkeley Law School did not. I passed the bar exam in 1945. When face to face we stand eye to eye, how far apart we are. As far, they say, as heaven is to earth, as far as two can be. But when we stand fronting the other, mile after mile, slipping in between, oh, close are we, as close as the shadow to the body, as breath to life, as kisses are to love.
11 years after passing the bar, I accepted a job at a prestigious law firm in New York City. And that's where we met.
Always Ripken, Wharton, and Garrison.
Her name was Irene Barlow.
Yes, Miss Pauli Murray is a new lawyer with the litigation department.
Irene was the office manager.
Miss Murray is out on a case at the moment. May I take a message?
She was in her early 40s, tall, slender. When her hand brushed my hand,
You're mailing messages.
I knew. She knew. Ridin. She was my soulmate. Spiritually, intellectually, the chemistry of our friendship produced sparks of sheer joy.
Brady, who Pauli's journals reference only as R, called in a time when being out was impossible.
We lived our relationship hidden from friends and family, navigating a time when homosexuality was dangerous was considered a mental illness.
Our letters, the only witness to our love and life together.
But when we stand fronting the other, mile after mile, slipping in between, oh, close are we, as close as the shadow to the body, as breath to life, as kisses are to love.
George Wallace Jr., Alabama politician and judge, served as governor for 4 long terms.
He promoted Jim Crow policies, declaring it his 1963 inaugural address.
Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever.
How many times will we try to take a breath before we can breathe with ease? How many lives will Jim Crow suppress before we bring him to his knees?
What's our freedom? So we're making a vow. Yes, we want our freedom. And we want it down.
Oh, Wallace, you never can jail us all. Jim Crow is dying, segregation's gonna fall.
For 3 decades, Pauli had been on the front lines protesting and marching. Back by the early 1960s, Pauli led from behind. Her tight fingers flew, her legislative research expanded, and as a teacher, she inspired young activists now on the front lines.
One person plus one typewriter constitutes a movement.
We're fighting for our rights, and the fight is real. We're fighting for our rights, out from under your heels. Some may get jailed, but it won't be long. They'll be out of there soon, singing freedom songs.
While fighting for Black people's rights, Pauli grew increasingly incensed by the sexism she encountered as a woman within the legal system, as a professor, and within the Black civil rights movement.
I found that men made policy and the women made the peanut butter sandwiches.
So, Pauli co-authored a landmark law review article coining the term Jane Crow, one of the first writings to explore the intersectionality between racism and sexism.
I am led to the hypothesis that we will be unable to eradicate racism unless and until we simultaneously remove all sex barriers. I have learned this lesson because I am both a Negro and a woman whose experience embodies the conjunction of race and sex discrimination.
Turn around, Jim Crow is leaving town. Looking what he's left behind. Jim Crow is what you'll find. Jim Crow to Jane Crow. Racism to sexism. Here to there and all the way back again.
Eleanor Roosevelt was selected to head a committee on the status of women in America and invited her friend and colleague, Pauli Murray, to work with her. Pauli pursued the abolishment of Jane Crow with the same energy and fervor she fought Jim Crow. help as he considered his support of the Equal Rights Amendment.
So, he appointed me to document all laws in every state of the nation that discriminate against women on the basis of gender. I'm getting up to fight for women this round. I've got my new sound. Let the starting bell sound. How many times will we try to take a breath before we can breathe with ease? How many lives will Jim Crow suppress before we bring her to his knees?
The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was written to prohibit discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, or national origin in hiring, promoting, and firing.
Due to the shenanigans of a congressman who didn't want the Civil Rights Bill to pass, the word sex was added at the last minute to include protections for women.
The congressman was pretty sure that the majority of the House and Senate, being 99% male, would never vote to pass this bill when sex was included in the list of prohibited discrimination. After all, this was 1964. Every man on the face of this earth knew that a woman's place was in the kitchen, in the church pew, or in the bedroom.
Under a thumb, under a foot, always deny, always refute, like an old boy's club, tear down, uproot, hit with a strap, kicked with a boot.
This was a big moment for women organizers who held their breath. Did anyone in Congress actually read the bill? Really read it?
Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act
Passed, which meant that discrimination was against the law on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, and sex.
Let's see that floor on the floor for the Civil Rights Bill of 1964. Equality in the workplace, equality in pay, not just when you want to go every day. We fought the fight every day about equality for women, yes, equality now.
Title VII opened the door for women's equal rights, but now the challenge was to ensure the laws were enforced. Pauli's documentation of sex discrimination for JFK provided a key starting place.
I worked with Betty Friedan and a coalition of 26 other women to form the National Organization for Women, or NOW.
In 1966, NOW became for women what the NAACP did for people of color. It kept the bill from losing its bite.
Equality in the workplace, equality in pay, not just when you want it, but every day. We fought the fight every day about equality for women, equality now. Equality for women, yes, equality now.
1968, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is killed, and Pauli's Dark Testament poem is read at a memorial service.
Sparking the publication of my book of poetry by the same name.
1968, Pauli accepted a professorship at Brandeis University.
I taught classes in American civilization, legal studies, African American studies, and women, gender, and sexuality studies. Rini was my right hand, helping to organize my papers, household affairs, and writings.
1970,
The Beatles split up, the Kent State shootings.
Nixon signed into law an amendment to the Voting Rights Act, lowering the voting age to 18.
1971, my Rini is diagnosed with breast cancer. The surgery bought us some time until the tumor when Rini lost the use of her right arm.
1973, Billie Jean King defeats Bobby Riggs on the tennis court in the Battle of the Sexes. Watergate investigations, and Roe v. Wade is decided, making abortions legal.
1973. I read Marini passed from this world. I read her songs and prayers of her faith to ease my beloved into the next life.
Journal, Thursday, March 21st, 1973.
Bereavement was acute. I can never regain what I have lost in this finite life. I am raging in my agony, arguing with God, shaking my fist. Relieve my anger, my pain, peace, I need peace. Oh, my heart, my anger and pain, anger and pain. Why gift me with love and then snatch it away? My light is gone, my love is gone. I can't go on like this. Why? For so long I have held my peace. I have kept still and restrained myself. Now I cry out like a woman in labor. I gasp and pant. Dear Mother God, dear Father God, and the Holy Spirit, hear me calling to you. Relieve my anger, my pain. Peace, I need peace from my heart. Release me, divine one. For so long I have held my peace. In my mind I cannot see. Must I feel my way through? Oh, divine one, I cry and I long for you. Like a newborn babe, I open my eyes, stop my fears, fill me with light, healing joy. Embraced by you, I give. Make me
Pauli had a life-altering experience that changed the trajectory of her life. Journal, Monday, September 3rd, 1973.
I experienced the mystery of an electrical current as I knelt and felt R's coffin the morning of the funeral when I said my last goodbye. It was as if we were not separated in death, and the mandate was for me to follow the cross as she had done.
Propelled by Rainey's death, Pauli resigned her position as professor at Brandeis University to enter the ministry. Rainey left a life insurance policy, a gift that made this calling possible.
My 3 years in seminary, it was far more rigorous than anything I experienced in law school.
At the time Pauli entered seminary, the Episcopal Church didn't allow women to be ordained. It was the mid-1970s, and women seminarians were at the center of a bitter controversy and targets of blatant hostility. But that didn't stop Pauli. She was up for a new fight.
I was the only Black woman enrolled and the oldest at age 63, with more professional experience than most of my professors.
September 1976, years of male obstructionism finally gave way to the approval of the ordination of women in the Episcopalian Church, weeks after Pauli's graduation.
Christmas letter, December 1976. On January 8th, 1977, I would like to share the reaffirmation of my faith with all of you and my ordination as an Episcopal priest. Sincerely yours, Pauli.
Pauli was ordained at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. as one of the first women and the first Black woman ordained in the Episcopal Church. There was a bitter cold morning, but more than 3,000 people showed up.
I was the last to be consecrated, and as the bishop placed his hand on my forehead, the sun broke through the clouds and sent rainbow light through the stained glass windows. I served as a priest for 8 years, discovering new ways to serve humanity.
Pauli passed away on July 1st, 1985, just before completing her second autobiography, Song in a Weary Throat. Her wish was to be buried next to her soulmate, Irene Barlow, and Aunt Pauline shares their gravestone.
Poet, activist, writer, lawyer, teacher, rebel, friend, priest, and saint.
Pauli was the spark, collaborating to bring about change in America.
One person, this boy girl, who laid the foundation of our continued work for social change and equity.
Pauli Murray's story is not a story that lives in the past. Hers is a story that continues today.
Share her name. Say her story.
Everybody wants to make their mark. Everybody wants to be the star. It's what you think about the very start. To live forever in every Oh,